couple here, like one up on the hill and one here.
It's cool.
And water goes.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Cicero Jackson Township Planning Commission meeting to order at 7 o'clock p.m. Mr. Zawadzki, will you do roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Dan Strong.
Present.
Wendy Gillespie.
Present.
Harrison Masani. Present. Dennis Schrumpf.
Present.
Dennis Johnson.
Present.
Eric Hayden.
Present.
Mark Diller.
Present.
Mark Thomas.
Present.
Ford Hebner.
Present.
Our legal counsel, Aaron Culp.
Present.
I'm Frank Zawadzki, Plan Director, and I am present. And good evening, Mrs. Strong, recording from home.
Okay, I'll declare a quorum with all 9 members present. Thank you all for being here this evening. So with that, we'll move on to approval of our minutes from the July 9th meeting. Hopefully everyone's had an opportunity to review those, and any additions, corrections, or comments at this particular time?
Mr. Chairman, Dennis Trump, on page 3, the legal counsel's report, the second line, makes a recommendation. I'm not quite sure how that's supposed to read it. No longer if the town council doesn't do that. I was a little confused by that. I'll second that.
Well, what it's, Aaron, do you want to answer it? I mean, what it's saying is if there was a rule change, that if the council declined it, it doesn't have to come back to plan commission.
Yeah, it used to be if the council did not follow what the plan commission recommended, it would come back to the plan commission for further comment.
Okay.
All has changed to eliminate that.
Okay. Well, other than that one, I would move that we approve the minutes of the meeting from July 9th, 2025.
Are you asking for a change to that, or?
Well, I was asking for clarification that be,
Okay.
Worded a little bit better than it is, but otherwise the minutes are, I would move to approve them.
So if I heard correctly, and Mr. Thomas weigh in here too, because I think you interpreted it the same way. So if we go back and change the wording on that a little bit, then will that suffice?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Just to clarify that, I guess, for lack of a better term, clean it up.
Okay. Okay.
So are you, just to be clear, you're talking about if the town council didn't use recommendation, it came back to plan commission for.
Well, the
review?
way it's worded, that's once that make it no longer if the town council doesn't do that. The wording there is, if that can be cleaned up a little bit, otherwise I have no problem with it. I know what they're trying to say, but it's just the way it's worded.
So here's the problem, here's where he's having the problem. Okay. It's right there, Dan, that's the problem. I agree that it no longer
Yeah.
is the problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll clean that up and make sure that's clarified in the
Right.
minutes then.
Yeah, and otherwise I would have moved that we approve them with it once that's, what that little housekeeping item is taken care of.
Thank you, Mr. Schrumpf. Anything else from anyone? Okay, then I would look for a motion then to approve the minutes as amended.
Mr. President, Eric Hayden, I'll second that motion, Dennis's motion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hayden. We have a motion and second to approve our minutes as amended. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Mr. Zawadzki, did you make a note of that as well?
I did, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Okay, moving on to public comment. This would be the opportunity for anyone in the public that would like to speak to the board this evening on anything outside of the agenda items tonight. So if there was anyone that would like to do that, if you'd step forward to the podium. Okay, seeing no one coming forward, we'll move on then. So, old business, Mr. Zawadzki, anything under old business?
Mr. President, I show no old business.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to new business, we have docket number PC-09-25-09-C3. The petitioner is Bullseye Fence Design Incorporated at 22179 US 31 North in Cicero. This is for an overlay District application's been submitted concerning a fence for the property located at that address. And with that being said, the petitioner is here this evening. If you would state your name and address for the records and tell us a little bit about what you're proposing.
Ryan Householder with Bullseye Fence Design, Inc., located at 22179 US 31 North. The first commercial property north of 216th Street on US 31, just north of 216th on the east side. We propose to build an 8-foot tall privacy fence along US 31 to block and secure our storage facility at this time. An 8-foot tall, solid western red cedar privacy fence. And
So it is, Frank, can you go back? Please. So it's where the red line is,
correct.
or the blue line on the other drawing? Now if you go down.
The blue line is an existing fence there that you can see approximately 170 feet to the east there.
Okay.
But it's adding the red fence.
Exactly, yes.
So it appears from looking at it that you've continued to grow your business and you've caused some storage issues.
Correct,
From
yes.
looking at it, so that's a requirement of the fencing, if I understand it correctly.
Correct, yes. We're just out of area to store materials, and so we'd had to push some stuff closer to US 31 than we originally had thought. And we would like to just block off that area to secure it, as well as to not be viewed from US 31.
I'm still confused, I'm sorry. Because when you look at the, go back down, Frank.
He wants to see the one with the blue
Oh,
line.
Yeah, the one with the blue.
Oh, the
He's
blue
looking at
line.
this one.
So the blue line says proposed fence with,
This is an old one, an old plot plan.
Yes, that is an old plot plan that you see right there. There should be additional plot plans maybe that I submitted, if that's anywhere else, if you scroll down. There's the wood privacy fence. That's already existing right there.
Okay.
I think that's the plot plan I have included in there.
okay.
So basic, can you go back to that plot plan then, Frank, just for clarification? So basically, if we understand correctly, this is where your current fence is?
Correct, yes.
So this might have been when you went through a process?
Yes, when we first bought the property in 2010, that's where we had the privacy fence, yes.
And then your new fence will be up in this area, is that
Yeah,
correct?
just a couple feet to the east of the highway fence that's right there.
So it'll be right in here someplace, probably.
Correct, yes. Yes.
How much is a couple feet? I mean, is it 2 feet or is it?
We want enough room that we can maintain the area between the chain link fence that's existing for the highway and the privacy fence. So a few feet that we can get a lawnmower through there and we can trim and, keep the vegetation from growing on top of the fence.
Once your access is closed on 31, are you gonna put any additional fence along your southern border there?
Yes, we would like to, once the access is closed off of 31, there's that other 170 feet to go from 31 due east on both sides. We would like to then block it off completely there once they shut down the US 31 access. Right now, a lot of times we're using the new road that's to the east of the property that terminates and ends at our property. So yes, it would be fully enclosed at that time. And it would match the existing fence that's already in place.
So, Mr. Zawadzki, I believe they went before the Board of Zoning Appeals because there was a couple of standards variances that they need to pursue, then those were approved?
That is correct.
So we're strictly dealing with the aesthetics of the fence this evening,
That's correct.
so.
I pulled up the BZA app and it has the updated, is this the updated drawing?
That is, yes, sir. Yep.
I don't know if this helps.
So actually, you are asking, or in that one, you were asking to also do the north and south side,
Correct, yes.
not just the
Correct, yes.
Aaron, if you want to hook that in, I can try to show that on the screen, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so it was about 310 feet or so on the far west side of the property and about 170 feet going east and west to the existing privacy fence.
It'll take a minute to catch up.
There it is right there, yeah. There's a new updated fence right there.
There it went.
There it was.
There you're back.
There you go. It's back.
Everyone try to remember to turn your microphones on when you speak. Yeah, I think that definitely helps.
Great, yeah, that's what we would like to do right there. Fully enclose it to secure it as well as to block the view from US 31.
And then the blue fence is coming down?
No, that's going to remain. We can take it down if you would like, but we had thought that that would remain to separate the storage facility right there.
So then how will you enter the storage facility?
There's a large gate in there. We have a 20-foot sliding gate in there. So we secure the facility right now in two areas. Once on the south side where it says, exactly, right there. And then the other one is right where you can kind of see that drive, right? It says plus or minus 170 on the south side right there. We have two gates to enter the property, yes.
And then the access road, the new access road is on the south side, is that what?
It's on the far northeast corner of the property. If you scroll up, it's the very, very northeast corner of the property, is where the new road comes into our property.
So then how do you get down to your storage after that's?
31's going away.
Right.
The access from 31's going
Right, so then once that goes away, how do you get down to that storage area? Because
We have a gate in the blue fence, the blue line right now.
so you
Yep,
come through that
exactly,
other
yep.
area.
So you'll come in off Inglewood Drive? new
That's the name of the
drive
road,
that's
yes.
being
We'll be
proposed.
coming in off Inglewood Drive for everything, because they're gonna shut off our access off US 31.
Is that where the new, like, it's almost like a circle, like,
Exactly,
yeah,
yep.
that's where the new entrance?
There's a new little cul-de-sac that ends
okay.
right there at our property, yes.
Is the fence gonna be stained at all, or just as it appears here, this is the fence?
We would like to keep it the gray color, which is the same color as our building. It matches our building very, very well, which is great. We like that natural silver look, if you will. I mean, we're a fence company, and so this is routine work for us. We do this on a daily basis.
And you are planning to maintain that 2 feet in between
Yeah,
the chain
yeah,
link
and,
and the fence?
a few feet, yeah, we'll be able to mow and maintain that, not let the vegetation climb up on top of the fence and things of that nature, yes.
And then I saw somewhere, I don't remember where, it was an 8-foot fence, correct?
Yes, sir.
I don't have any questions.
Any other questions or comments by board members at this point? Okay, thank you. So, discussion amongst the board? Seeing- Pardon me?
I have a question in regard to the north and south fences. Should we go ahead and approve that this evening? That's already, has the BZA already approved the north and south?
They have,
Okay.
yes.
And otherwise, then he's gonna have to come back again for those two, or not?
We would prefer not. The whole purpose of this fence to start was for effective screening.
Right.
I reached out to the petitioner here about all the stuff stored out front. We were asking them to screen it. He said that they would, and then it turns out that the ordinance is a little funny there, so in order for him to effectively screen, he didn't meet another standard, which necessitated the BZA process, and then now we're here.
Okay.
So
Were those BZA items?
they
Just
were,
high level.
they were 50%
Open space.
visibility in the front.
And 4-foot tall height.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So with, since this is for a aesthetic review of a fence, I think, the board has a latitude. I think we got a little bit confused because we didn't have this rendering to look at, and felt that to begin with, we were only looking at the one along US 31, and now I think we're aware that we were sort of including that north and south as well as that west elevation. So I would think that we could approve the fence as shown in the red if the board would like to do so.
So the only question would be, do you require any, like on the blue, this blue, the previous that had trees along the fence? I mean, do we require any of that? I don't know what's in our standards to break that up. I mean, I think it, for me, it makes an improvement the way it is because there is stuff stored out there.
Correct.
I think those trees are there.
Well, I think if I understood the question, should we require some trees along the new fence, or is it required per our standards? And I don't think it's required per our standards for an existing property, so.
Well, based on his statement that they want to get a mower through there, if you plant trees, then that would add to the difficulty of getting a mower through and make it harder for them to maintain the property, so. I'd rather see it trimmed and cut and mowed than.
Okay, any other discussion? Not, then I would look for a motion. All of our motions are done in the affirmative. Doesn't necessarily mean that's the way the vote will go, but all of our motions are done that way. So I would look for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, Harrison Masani, I move to approve docket number PC-0925-09-C3.
Thank you, Mr. Masani. Looking for a second?
Wendy Gillespie, I second that.
Thank you, Mrs. Gillespie. So we have a motion and a second. We'll do a roll call vote. So with that, Mr. Johnson?
Approved.
Mr. Hayden?
Approve.
Mr. Diller?
Approved.
Mr. Thomas?
Approved.
Mr. Hebner?
Approve.
Mr. Gillespie?
Approved?
Mr. Masani?
Approved.
Mr. Shrimp?
Approved.
And Mr. Strong, I approve, so you are approved. And thank you for your willingness to help us to continue to keep everything out there looking nice, and your willingness to put up a fence.
You're welcome. We love Jackson Township and Cicero. We plan on being here for many more years, and obviously we want it to look good for the community, as well as, we're one of the first properties you see going north into Jackson Township, so, yeah,
Okay.
we appreciate everything.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll get to start on this here. Should be done in a few weeks.
Okay, if you'll see Mr. Zawatsky and work with him on, whatever you need for permits and everything, and
Absolutely.
all righty, sir.
Great, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Frank's computer for the
Thank you.
We wanted to see what you were typing up over there. Probably.
I'm sorry. I'm ready for you.
Moving on to other new business, we have docket number PC-0825-10-NC, which is neighborhood commercial. The petitioner is the Furniture Garage. They're located at 49 East Jackson Street here in Cicero. This is another aesthetic review overlay district application in regards to signage for the property at that location. So it looks like we have someone here representing the petitioner. If you would state your name and address for our records and tell us what you're proposing, please.
My name is Kelly Longstreth. The address is 49 East Jackson Street, Cicero. We are proposing to put a projecting sign at the storefront just because where we sit back from the road so we can be more visible for traffic. The sign company will reinforce that pole that's currently there as well with what's needed for the sign.
So in this particular case too, Mr. Zawadzki, before we have discussion, I believe this went through the Board of Zoning Appeals also?
It did. It was approved for a projecting sign greater than 18 inches and also to exceed the footage.
So the projecting sign it exceeded the 18 inches from the wall that it's supported by, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Comments, questions, board members?
So it's the same picture on both sides?
Yes.
Okay.
So in this particular case, since it's a projecting sign, both sides do apply towards the square footage, but I believe it's total of 32 square feet, and they are allowed up to 75 square feet, since it's a multi-tenant.
So the biggest issue is the distance away from the building.
That would be correct, but they got, so we're only looking at the aesthetics of the sign, because the Board of Zoning Appeals approved them exceeding the 18 inches from the wall of the building with their sign. So it's whether we feel this is a nice-looking sign and fits that corridor, and
So one side is 18 square feet, so two sides is 32, is that correct?
that, yes, or I think it's,
36, thank you.
yeah.
With my Purdue math, I'm sorry.
So that would be correct. It's a little bit different from a monument sign, and because of a monument sign, you only look at one side for square footage, but in a projecting sign, it's total of both.
So I wrote down 32, 16 on each side. Okay. So I guess the question is, do you have any, because that 75 square feet goes into total signage, correct? So do you have any other signs that you're planning on putting up?
No, that's the only one.
Or that you may want to put up, like hours or anything in the future?
So Mr. Hayden's trying to give you a little latitude if you think you might have some additional signage you're looking at since you're below the 75 square feet in regards to if you wouldn't want to post your door hours or your open hours or whatever that might be.
How have we done that in the past? Just
Like on
upon
the door?
review with
On the door?
Mr.
I mean, we
Those-
would like to have hours on the door.
I
So-
can
Okay,
answer this.
yeah.
Those are considered informational signs, which
Yep.
are exempt. So hours, hiring, enter here, exit here, those are all exempt.
Yeah, but if they want to put something else up, have we, because we've allowed that in the past, have
We
we,
have.
based on your
Discretion,
approval?
yeah.
Discretion?
We have.
Okay.
They're trying to ensure you don't have to come back to approve this in the future.
This is our main goal right here, is this sign.
And you do have another sign up now. You're gonna
It's-
probably take
we're gonna
it
take it
down
down.
once this
Yeah.
one goes up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are there lights on this one?
There's not.
Do you anticipate it'll be lighted at any point?
No.
Okay, thank you.
I think that's a cool sign.
Yeah, it is actually a pretty cool sign, or I like it anyway.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Thanks.
So I'll make a motion to approve the sign as presented of 32 square feet and allow, is it 32 or 36? 32 square feet.
It's 32, it's 4 by 4, so it's, yeah.
It's, yeah.
There's that Purdue math again.
You weren't a math major, were you?
I said 32.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll make a motion to approve the 32 square feet sign as presented and able to add additional signage at the discretion of the plan director up to 75 square feet.
And that would be as long as the signage meets our ordinances. So,
Okay.
As long as the signage meets Cicero ordinances.
thank you.
I'll second that, Dennis Trump.
Okay, thank you. So we have a motion and a second. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Hebner?
Approve?
Mr. Thomas?
Approve.
Mr. Diller?
Approved.
Mr. Hayden?
Approve.
Mr. Johnson?
Approve.
Mr. Shrimp?
Approved.
Mr. Masani?
Approve.
Mrs. Gillespie?
Approved.
And I, Dan Strong, will approve as well. So you're approved of that, and good luck with your business. And I would totally agree with the comments. Everyone said it's a very nice looking sign, so thank you.
Thank you.
So I do have to ask real quick, what kind of furniture? Just anything and everything?
So we actually have art, stained glass, new and used furniture, refinishing furniture, and then we have a bunch of other home decor, all kinds of good stuff in there.
Okay. Welcome to Cicero.
Thank you.
Okay,
Do
we,
you do boats?
What's that?
You do boats?
Boats. Just our own.
okay, moving on to other new business, we have docket number PC-0925-13-R5. Petitioner is Tom Monroe. Address is 299 North Peru Street here in Cicero. This is a rezone application. It's been submitted concerning Article 13 of the Cicero-Jackson Township zoning ordinances in order to rezone a parcel currently zoned as R5, O-Town Residential District to NC Neighborhood Commercial District. So petitioner, looks like you're here this evening, sir. If you would state your name and address for the records and tell us why you would like to do this and what you're proposing. Thank you.
My name is Tom Monroe. I live at 700 Iron Bridge here in Cicero. We bought this is about the 299 North Peru Street. We bought that building a few years ago, right after we moved here. We've improved the facility, moved a business into it, and we'd like permission to be able to, do something with the front with customers. If we want to make a design studio, or if we want to be able to sell retail out of it, we'd like to be able to do that. Our business, recently Cicero has had some really exciting things happen, and we plan on being a part of it. In order to be able to do that, we need to be able to sell retail out of the front of it. We operate our business out of the back of it right now. If we want to, I guess anybody that would be in front of it would need the ability to be able to sell out of it too. That I'm referring to that, if you look at the building, the part with the cedar wrapped around it. All right. That's what we would like to do something with. And we have a few viable options right now. We've fixed up the building quite a bit. I guess what we're looking to do is just have permission to be able to really run a business out of it and sell retail. And I don't want to have to go through something like this if there's changes in the future. I'm not sure if there's a better way to put it. Well, that's what it looked like when we took it over. I'm not sure if anybody saw that, if everybody knows the property. But that's what it looked like when we bought it, and we made significant improvement. And as we were making improvement, we were getting ourselves acclimated to the town of Cicero, its direction, and what the capabilities are. And I think we've seen some really exciting progress with things that coincide with what we'd like to see. And we want to be a part of it. And we'll continue to improve the building and do things that really kind of coordinate with the plan of Cicero and what the people want and need. And like I said, we want to be a part of that.
So if I understand correctly, your intent is basically you have someone wanting to lease the front of your building, And your concern is if, I'll use for an example, that if that tenant leaves and you want to bring another tenant in, that you might have to go through this process again. So you're looking to potentially rezone it so you have multiple uses for your facility or your building at this particular time?
Right now, we have an option on the table right now. Somebody wants to put a jewelry store in. There's no question about that. Whether we do that or not is going to be, I want it to be beside the point, all right? Because I don't know if that's going to happen, truthfully. But because since I started that conversation, the town of Cicero itself has advanced with things, the new development that's going on out there. And that's something that we're directly involved with. And I think we can actually be a part of that. And if there are future developments, and in order to be able to do that, I'll want the zoning. If I decide that we don't know what could happen in the future, maybe that's not the best option for us. Maybe it is the jewelry store. But I want to be able to have the option to do those things.
Okay.
So currently, you operate a business in the back part, and that used to be the office for the old, was it Cases?
Casey's.
Yeah, Casey. But, and so right now that's kind of cleared out?
It's not clear enough. No, I still have a section in the front, but I don't have permission to do retail, so I've never sold retail out of the front.
Gotcha.
All right, and if I have the ability to sell retail out of the front, I might do something with the front. At least I'll have the ability to do it. If I get permission to do this, there's no plan to execute starting tomorrow with anything, but it's hard to make a plan when I don't know what I'm capable of doing. And right now, I don't have the capability of doing what I would want to do if I wanted to sell retail. We make, today, Supreme Surface is a brand of specialty cleaners and niche products for sinks and countertops, and we're recommended by manufacturers such as Kraus USA and Blanco Sinks, and we make products and we handle their customer service for them in the front of that building right now. All right, all customer service for people that want to restore their sinks or whatever. If they can't handle it there, they send them to me, and I take care of that. We sell products online. I'm not big on retail, and I don't think we really have the type of products, the product niche for the way Cicero is, right? And it's not a great fit for that, but at some point, I believe that it will be. But I think there is a great opportunity for me to do several different things. One, well, if I wanted to rent it out, I'll need permission to be able to do it. If I want to, with the Homerama coming up, with the BAGI, the Builders Association of Greater Indianapolis, I've talked to, Stone Mart. There's a group of stone people that have presented to me maybe turn that into something where I can outfit it with stone floors and stone showers and kitchenettes and things like that. Maybe a selection center where if somebody is going, if somebody is going to make a selection for a home, they can send them to maybe there and make selections if they wanted. It's not a busy thing. It's something that maybe you get a person or two a day or whatever. And if people came in, I'd be able to sell retail to them too. If I wanted to move myself back, for 28 years, I was Indiana's largest tile and stone company in residential sector. I don't have any intention of making a selection center for stone there myself. Right now, I'm not. I make stone care products today. But I would maybe like to take our stone care products, and if I opened up a multi-surface line, the Supreme Surface Daily Cleaner, a street-free multi-surface product, that now opens up for local community. I mean, I can develop a label for the local community, and people can come in and pick up cleaning supplies if they want it. It's an option. Mm-hmm. And I guess that's what I'm looking for. I want viable options, and to do that, I need what I'm asking.
And right now, is there a demising wall behind the cedar part, or is that something if a tenant comes in, you would probably want to add?
There's a wall there right now with a door, but it's glass.
Sure.
Right? So if you walk in the front of the building, you can look through to the back. And there is separation, all right? There's a door, a 32-inch or, yeah, 32-inch door, I believe, and then next to that, there's probably, you know, maybe a 3-foot section of glass where you can look into the back, right? And there's a lot of really interesting possibilities on what I can do from the inside with my tanks, you know, but I just want to know what I'm capable of. Right now, I'm not capable of doing anything like that.
So if everyone, probably this went through the Board of Zoning Appeals. It's been a few years now, just to give you a brief history. So this was Case's Car Clinic, if everyone remembers that. The zoning for that property was an R5. So when Mr. Monroe decided that he wanted to move his business in there and fix up the property, then he went through a land use variance and was granted a land use variance to operate his current business. So I think, you know, from what I'm hearing, I think he's looking for, if there would be some additional uses he might use in the future. This might keep him coming in every time and looking for a land use variance.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Gives me the ability to do it.
Questions or comments for Mr. Monroe at this time? Now, the only thing I would say, so in this, and we've looked at it in the past, if you look at permitted uses and special exception uses, so those would be these permitted uses would be what he would be allowed to do out in an NC district if the board approved a recommendation to the town council. And keep in mind, this is only a recommendation to the town council, either favorable or unfavorable. But if it moved on to the town council, we could, if there's things that the board would not like to see there, you certainly can add that to a motion. You know, if you look at a special exception, it might be as simple as, I'm not sure that, I sort of looked at it that we would want a recycling collection point there in the future. So if there's things that you see that we might not want there, that could be part of approval process as well. And we have done that with another property in town as well in the past. That was a few years back.
Are there any other concerns of other uses that would fall under that? It definitely is an R5.
Sure.
But are there any other concerns of other uses that might be?
Well, I think that's a question for the board. I had a couple other ones, but I'd like comments from board members before I throw anything else out. So, and we're just looking at, you know, there's a long list of permitted uses and special exception uses there, and there might be some possibilities of, and I'll use, for example, 3 or 4 that might, you know, the board might not like to see in the future there for obvious reasons. But it still would give you the bulk or of the items that you're looking for approval, so. Thoughts?
I agree with you. The recycling collection point would make a whole bunch of sense right there.
Yeah, I actually had 3 that I'll throw out since no one's throwing out theirs. So I had looked at it. I'm a little concerned that the possibility of a utility substation being there. And I wasn't sure if we would want, even though I know it was a car repair shop there previously, but I'm not sure that we would want an automobile service station there. And the only reason I say that, our ordinance for automobile service station does allows gas pumps and those things. And knowing that, you know, the town is doing some additions to Catherine Street and some concerns that's been shared with the town on Flanagan, that of that being a narrow corridor down through there, that those were 3 things that I looked at it. I wasn't sure that we would want to approve as part of this process.
I would agree in looking over the list.
I only got 2, Dan, the utility substation and the new service station.
And then the other was the recycling collection point. And the only reason I looked at that, I looked at what recycling collection points allows. And our ordinance says it cannot be outdoor, but if you look at it, it does have numerous bins and things. And then I was concerned a little bit from the amount of traffic coming in and picking up, you know, the recycled materials and some of the things that might be there. I didn't know if that fit there based
So-
on location, so.
So even though those are all under special exception, if we make that requirement, they cannot go to the BZA to?
They
That-
can, but they would go as a land use variance, which would be a higher standard. And they have to show hardship versus a practical difficulty, which would be for the others.
Now, can the petitioner commit that those would never be there and do a commitment?
Yeah, what I would suggest is we have a written commitment that those three uses be prohibited.
I believe that's what we've done in the past.
Right.
That's the only reason I asked that question. And that's still, I think, you know, from looking at the other items, I think most everything else there fits and would be appropriate there. And some of those, I mean, space-wise, certainly would not be there. It would be hard for probably a large convenience store or anything there, but a small one could be there and some of those things. But those were the three that I had questions on whether they would fit there or not and be appropriate, so. So I guess I would ask you, Mr. Monroe, if we had some of those that we spelled out that way, would you be willing to agree to that and do a commitment that those would not be there?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Discussion, comments? Well, keeping in mind, this is a recommendation to the town council when we get to that point, but at this point, thank you, Mr. Monroe, we'll need to open this up for public hearing at this point. It does require a public hearing since this is a rezone. So with that being said, I would look for a motion to open the public hearing.
So move, Mr. Strong, Eric Hayden.
Thank you, Mr. Hayden. Looking for a second.
And seconded.
Dennis Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. We have a motion and a second to open the public hearing. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak in regards to this rezone request this evening? Okay, could I have you step up to the microphone for me and state your name and address for the records, please?
I'm Janetta Brand, and I'm at 20 Flanagan Street. I'm in the apartments directly across from the building. And he's made a major improvement. We like him as a neighbor. He's quiet, he's clean. It's wonderful compared to the automobile place.
Okay,
I don't know what else to say, but I want to keep him.
thank you. Yes. Is there anyone else that has any comments or questions for the board?
I have been there 9 years, so I know the difference.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I think we would all agree that the property has improved, and Mr. Monroe has done a nice job there, so. So with that, I would look for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved, Dennis Johnson.
Second by Harrison Sonnet.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, any additional comments by the board members?
I think any of the items that he mentioned or in the uses would bring some sort of traffic to the town in addition to his business. Most people need a place to eat, so I think it'd be a great addition. Or option, as he worded it.
Should we rule out pizza or Mexican?
So anyone, so was there anything additional that we might want to exclude, or was everyone comfortable with those, or you want to leave those in, or?
I'm good with the three exclusions.
Sounds good.
Okay, so I'll just state for everyone here, so after hearing all the information and conducted public hearing this evening, our role is to consider all the information presented to the board by the petitioner, all the public comments, thank you. zoning ordinance and considering the comprehensive plan and any other information that has presented to the board for consideration this evening. The Planning Commission will only vote to send a favorable, unfavorable recommendation, or as we have done most recently, no recommendation to the Town Council on the rezone request. This will be only a recommendation to the Town Council as the Town Council has final approval or disapproval of the rezone request as it necessitates a map change, which that falls under their legislative functions. So with that, I guess I would look forward to the board to see if they're ready to make a recommendation. And if so, then I would look for a motion for a recommendation, and one way or the other.
Mr. Chairman, Dennis Rumpf, I would make a motion that we send a favorable recommendation for the rezoning of this property to exclude the three businesses that we have previously spelled out, but we send a favorable recommendation of docket PC 0925-13-R5 to the Town Council.
And that would be, that recommendation would include that that was a written commitment that would be recorded?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you for your motion.
And Mr. Chairman, Ford Hebner, I would second that motion.
Thank Mr. Hebner. We have a motion and a second. We will do a roll call vote. So, Mr. Diller.
Approve.
Mr. Thomas.
Approve.
Mr. Hebner.
Approve.
Ms. Gillespie.
Approved.
Mr. Masani.
Approve.
Mr. Shrump.
Approve.
Mr. Johnson.
Approved.
Mr. Hayden.
Approved.
And Dan Strong, I approve. So, just so you know, Mr. Monroe, this was a recommendation to the Town Council. This will move on to the Town Council. Now, our next Town Council meeting is September the 16th, which would be next Tuesday. So, you think, Mr. Culp, that would be sufficient to be able to get the information to them for Tuesday's meeting, or should they move to October?
So that's a pretty straightforward order.
Okay, so if you would come to the meeting on Tuesday here at 7 o'clock, if you're available, and present to the Town Council, and they would have final say on your rezone.
Thank you very much.
And if you have any questions, please reach out to Mr. Zawadzki.
Will do.
Thank you.
Thanks
You've
again.
done a nice job with your business there. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
One of the board members repeat that fourth condition for me, the one you made, Harrison?
There were three.
It was 3. Mr. Masani was saying he
Oh,
thought that the
recorded?
restaurant fit there, I believe, correct?
Utility substation, recycling collection station, and automobile service station.
Right.
That was the only 3, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just the three, yeah.
Oh, you were just making a comment.
He
And then we
thinks
want
we need a restaurant.
Oh,
I think any customers who bring will eat
Then-
in the restaurant.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay. That was it.
Yeah.
then I got it right.
Okay, thank you.
I think we need to change.
So moving on to plan director report, Mr.
Yeah, we
Zawadzki.
always do that. Yes, sir. Good evening, Plan Commission. I have here in front of me the latest version of the Director's Report. This is for August of 2025. Permit revenue for the month of August 2025 was $4,619. Brings us up to a year-to-date of $34,546. At the same time last year, August of 2024, we were at $8,394 for the month and $40,782 for the year. That's a difference for the month of August, a minus $3,775, and a minus for the year, $6,236. We issued a total of 21 building permits for August of 2025. 14 were for inside the corporate limits, no new homes there. We issued another 7 out in Jackson Township, no new homes there either. Estimated cost of these projects permitted was $349,861. We do have a BZA meeting scheduled for September 18th here at Town Hall. There are items on the docket. I wanted to add an update to our, what we're calling the right-of-way permit. It's officially called the encroachment permit. That's going really well, a lot of business, generating a whole bunch of revenue. But the best thing is that we now have a means to protect ourselves when these contractors come in and drill or dig or install utilities in our property. So that's going well. There's a current project by Frontier going on, starting down at the end, the south end of Stringtown Pike and coming north. So that's my report. Anybody have any questions for me? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Zawadzki. So moving on to President's report. So I had a couple of things this evening. One of those was, I know we did not have a meeting last month, so it probably sort of slipped through the cracks a little bit, but the previous meeting, we talked about starting to look at ordinance updates and, you know, some changes and some of those things. And I don't know if anyone had an opportunity to go back and start looking at those and start putting a list together and your thoughts of things that we might want to take a look at, whether it's as simple as a definition that we might want to correct or make it more understandable or some of those things. But if everyone would try to, between now and the next meeting, to put together sort of a little list or what your thoughts might be, so we can start having a little bit of discussion on that next month. I certainly would appreciate it. I know Mr. Zawadzki's been working on somewhat of a list that we've been keeping track of over the last couple of years. I have some things on a list, but I know there's some things that we might want to address, and I'll go back just as simple as trying to figure out the pole sign and the monument sign that which actually I've redrafted, and I have a draft of it that I'll be glad to bring. But I think our intent is that we start working through some of these things, and knowing that we'll go into probably getting with a consulting firm at some point to help us with some of these amendments and things that we're going to do. But I think starting the process, there's certainly things that we can do internally that can streamline that process by bringing forward our list, start saying, okay, what we can work on here, as opposed to take it to a consultant, because I would like to think shortly after the first year that we would start really digging into these and saying, okay, what do we need help on, what do we don't need help on, and where do we go from here, and that process could take months. And there may be some things as this board would like to go ahead and put in place over the next 2 or 3 months. And there's some things if we could do internally to streamline that, I think it certainly would help. So any thoughts or comments on that at this particular time, or?
I looked back at my notes from the July 9th meeting and I had that note, I just have not done it yet.
Sure.
Apologies.
Well,
So,
no apologies needed. so.
Mr. Strong mentioned sign ordinance. I mean, as you drive through communities, kind of what you like about signs and what you don't like about signs is a challenge for everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
The word electronic came up as a real huge one on BZA a couple times, so.
So we've looked at that, and we probably have a definition we can use to fix that particular issue. So I can bring that forward for everyone to take a look at. But those are, I think, some of the things that we're going to be looking that we can do to help streamline this process a little bit. And then also, we may not want to wait the 9 months to, if there's some things that really stand out that we think that we need to move on to the council out of this board for their approval with changes in the ordinances, we certainly can do that as well. So just want everybody to take some time, start thinking about it, get your thoughts together, and we can continue to discuss, especially at meetings that we don't have a lot going on. And not that I know everybody doesn't like having a night off, but might give us something to do so I don't have to cancel meetings, so.
I guess that's where I'm still learning on some of this stuff, but Ms. Monroe's petition, whereas an R5, I guess that's where I'm looking at it. Neighborhood commercial, is that defined, or is that also what we're looking at? Is expanding the neighborhood commercial zone and defining better what it should be?
So,
Okay.
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Dan,
No.
please.
So I think in this particular case, we've had internally, internally Mr. Zawadzki and I, so looking at the major piece of along State Road 19
Gotcha.
for whatever reason that did not get zoned neighborhood commercial was from behind Iris Rubber down to Flanagan Street. Now, why that happened, I'm not 100% sure, whether that was the board at that particular time thought that the likelihood of any of that ever being sold and potentially being a business, or the residents had lived there for many years. Cases had been there for many years, so they probably were never going to go away. So maybe that was a consideration, and I don't know that's the answer. We've sort of scratched our head trying to figure out why that was. So, you know, we briefly talked about that we may want to look at trying to do some rezoning in the future, but I think that can be part of this process. I think, you know, looking in the future, do we feel that the downtown commercial district's large enough that, you know, maybe in the future we might want to look at Cass Street, or what's the next one over? Buckeye. Would you want to maybe in the future expand that and broaden the downtown commercial district, or make those areas neighborhood commercial? So I think those are all conversations we can have in the future.
So for
If
the
that
other
answered
thing-
your question, sorry, sir.
I think it definitely helps, since it just is new to me thinking that, like, it makes me think, is American Legion neighborhood commercial? Those type of things. I'm just throwing that out as an example,
Sure.
you know, and what used to be Bethel Church, and Brett's had it for 25 years of accounting and all the other stuff. What is that zoned as?
So that's downtown commercial.
Okay, gotcha.
So,
So the other part of it is, take a downtown commercial, I mean, if you think there's a different opportunity that maybe should be on the accepted list, maybe we can have that discussion, or on the exemption list, or any of those, or, I mean, so this is just one thing that sticks in my head. I don't know which zoning, but, you know, a lot of the newer generations don't like as much yard. So, you know, with developments, does it make sense to throw R2, pick some different setbacks with some caveats? I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking about that building on 32 where they have multi-unit homes together, like townhomes together. Same as 116th Street on the west side of Carmel back there. So anything like that, I mean, we can have discussions about to just maybe bring up to date's real world requests or standards. You can also handle that in other manners, but now would be the time to make those adjustments, I believe, correct? Dan?
yes.
Well, and also, there's probably some land uses we hadn't heard of 10 years ago. I know we've had 3 proposals to do animal sanctuaries for somebody who's going to rehab injured wildlife, and we don't have any zoning district for that, because that wasn't something that ever come before. So that would be something like, things like that can be discussed, and we think it's something we want, and if so, where would be the appropriate classification?
So right now, in that situation, they'd have to go to BZA.
And they have to show a hardship, you know, and they have to show it's not going to have an adverse impact on neighbors.
Gotcha.
Well, I think Mr. Hayden and Mr. Culp and Mr. Hefner bring up good points. So if you look at the last time we updated our zoning ordinance, it was in 2015. So, you know, we've had our ordinances for the last 10 years, and I know we've added a few things to it and updated a couple of things in it, but, you know, if you look back on 10 years to where things were in Cicero in the area and how things were being developed, it's completely changed today. So as Mr. Hayden said, you know, we can certainly look at everything in the zoning book, whether it's residential, commercial, or whatever that might be, and start digging into those things. What do you like, you don't like? And just like we had the conversation a few minutes ago, to Mr. Hayden's point, we certainly, you know, may want to take out some special exception things based on what we're seeing today, and potentially add some things. In the same way with permitted uses.
The video store?
What's that?
That's an improved one.
Yeah.
What
The
was
video-
that?
Well, in 2015.
It was,
That the video store still in there?
The video
Yes.
store's still in there,
It
so
is.
if you'd like to open a video store, you can do that.
Well, I know we had one not too long ago that boat docks were in it in a C1 district. That was really strange, and we went through this process, and that was one that we didn't include because,
Especially
Yeah,
since-
there's this exception in here, yeah.
so certainly some things to look at and think about. Other comments? Those are great suggestions, great comments.
Well, boat dock rental, can you even, I mean, other than the town, a person, my understanding is not supposed to rent their own personal boat dock to people based on what I know about the reservoir, but I could be wrong.
And that's a correct statement.
Huh?
That is a correct statement. It is both against some strict covenants that every parcel bordering the reservoir sign.
Okay.
And meaning that citizens or the marina could take action. But it also violates the ordinance because it's commercial activity in a residential district. It's not permitted activity.
They're not looking at Facebook.
Oh, I'm aware.
Just friends, yeah.
I think the only other thing I had on to talk about a little bit this evening was just to make everyone aware. So, you know, the Estridge Homes development came out of the Planning Commission, moved on to the Town Council with a non-recommendation from this board. So they did present to the Town Council at the August 19th meeting, and the Town Council did approve their moving forward with their development. So I just want to make sure everyone was aware that was on the board.
So when do those, like, have they talked, or do we know, like, when those permits start getting pulled, or, I mean, I know there's a long process to do in the neighborhood, it's gotta go to the town, and everything has to be approved on.
There's
So-
been no further
And it
action.
comes back here, doesn't it?
Yes.
to planning commission?
So next steps will basically, they still will have to go through the subdivision control process. So that's where they'll come in and actually have where their lots are laid out, all the streets and all the lights and everything else. So that'll be the first step in the process. And then they'll go through the construction standards, which comes back to this board also. And then there's one other step, and I just want to blank on it. Yeah, and there'll be a TAC meeting, which is where all the departments and the county departments review everything. And as Mr. Diller said, as a Duke Energy representative, he typically attends a TAC meeting to look at it from Duke's perspective. So there's quite a few steps for them to still go through before they actually start getting their permits. But I think as Mr. Zawadzki just said, they've not brought anything forward at this particular time for us to look at.
I think the drainage permits alone will take several months,
Yeah.
especially working on the legal drainage.
That has to be done first, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Before anything else can be done.
Building permits, I believe.
Yeah, good memory.
Going all the way to the township line.
So,
They're gonna have to take a while to rebuild that drain.
yeah.
Now, when it comes back to us for subdivision control, there will be a public hearing. However, as we talked about in the past on subdivision, if they meet the ordinance standards, we have no choice but to. And so basically, our review is, does this meet the standards? Now, we'll probably still have some people who wanna use that as an opportunity to object to the project, but we have a very narrow scope of review once we get to a subdivision.
When do they close on the property then?
I don't think that we know that, and I don't know that it's something that
Cause that'd be a tight
typically,
one too.
typically something that gets shared with us. It's normally, you know, they close on it and then they bring forward their petitions to us after that.
I would think might be contingent on getting some of these more things approved, so.
I know how
Most
to
of
get
them are done.
utilities to the site too. I know they've talked to the county, but they'll have to work out and get those lines extended.
Any further discussion on that?
So, Aaron, I read a discussion, and I know that we had this discussion about if, for whatever reason, after, I forget what the timing is, 2 years, they don't do anything and they don't end up with the property. That property, as rezoned from ag to R2, R3 PUD, reverts back to agriculture, correct?
Right.
Correct.
So, I just wanted that on public record.
So it's gotta be
Thank you.
done within 2 years.
There is a time frame
Yeah, somewhere in there.
in that PUD, but it was stated that way in the PUD. I just wanted on the record that it reverts back to agriculture.
But they don't have to have it completed within 2 years, but they
whatever that time duration was.
Yeah. The other part was the drainage, they were supposed to do the drainage in there also.
Correct.
Or that's what it was.
That's first, isn't it? The drainage has to be
I don't think
done.
the county let them do anything else until they.
Right.
No,
I mean, they might be able to start site work while they're doing the drainage, I don't know. That, there were any stipulations on site work and drainage, I don't.
I think they told us they would have to do the drainage first. That was their first steps.
Drain was highlighted as one of the first things they'll be doing. And that was confirmed by the county.
Good. Any further discussion on that? If not, I really don't have anything other than thank you for all for being here. I always appreciate that, and I know our petitioners do. With that, we'll move on to legal counsel report. Mr. Culp.
The only thing I had was, we expect in the next week, we will be closing on the acquisition of property where the town will be, establishing 3 new production wells. And we'll be moving forward with that process. There's a final test that's gotta be done once we become the title owner of the property. But the purchase was approved and we should be having closing very soon.
Had you already done test wells before and they were good and solid?
Yes.
So for this board though, I think what Aaron's getting at, or partially, is building was stopped because of wastewater and water.
Now the floodgates are running. Or will.
I wouldn't say floodgates, but, I mean, there might be people that want to do something in their surrounding area.
Will the 3 new wells allow 300% growth?
No. I can get out of my depth very quickly on this, but when you build wells, in order, you have to get a rating from Mike based on how many gallons. And they have to drop out your most productive well of the 3 because of redundancy, in case something goes down. Because they want to ensure that if your well goes down, you're not going to not have enough water for people and fire protection. And so there's going to be a significant increase, but I don't know if it would double. Are we hoping it doubles our capacity or is it less than that?
No, I think it, for the most part, it would double our current capacity.
Yeah. But even if we get it closed this week, we are probably a minimum of 2.5 years out, I would say. Because we'll have to go through the final testing, get the approval, then we'll have to do the design, and we'll have to do the construction, and then bring it all online. And so, you know, the finance and everything else like that, I'd say it's at least 2.5 to 3 years out.
I think if the stars aligned, we could potentially be at that 24-month window if that's if everything aligns,
Yeah.
so.
Which would be the first time during this project that happens.
Yes.
And that's still within Cicero town borders.
So the wells,
Yeah,
not currently, no.
gotcha.
They are directly east of town. However, under the, if we need to, under the law, we can annex where we have utilities,
Right.
even if they're not in town and not directly contiguous.
That's a town council decision.
Correct.
But if the town owns it, that's a pretty easy decision.
Right. Yeah, there's a special provision for that, if we decide we need to do that. But it's not uncommon for communities to have water or sewer outside their municipal boundary.
But I think, it brings up a good point from the standpoint that probably in the next year or so, we will have developers come forward potentially wanting to buy some property in the area and potentially develop it, knowing that, that water is going to be available at some point. And it takes about a year for earthwork and getting infrastructure in and everything. So sometimes, they'll do about a year out from when they think things are available to them. So we could potentially see some things moving forward. And again, though, I think that's the whole thing, and I know everybody's very nervous about that it does open the floodgates, but, those are decisions that'll be made by the boards to what they want to approve that makes sense in the area. And, whether it fits our zoning ordinances and it fits the area for development and some of those things. And, I am sure that this board, as well as the town council, will be selective in what they think should be here and not should be here. So we'll have a lot of discussions, I'm sure, as things move forward.
That's good, because the big concern was, are we gonna run out of water?
Well, I don't, so just to clarify, I don't think we were ever going to run out of water, but we were capacity for what our current plant could produce. And so, knowing that there's future needs for, the residents here too, it offered, a couple of opportunities, and I hope it's okay if I speak here, but opportunities from the standpoint it prepares us for the future, for potential development. But the other side of it is we know we have true well sites in the future, because we have some well sites currently that are aging. They've done well for us this time for, gosh, I don't know, maybe 100 years. Maybe one of them's 100 years old, I don't know for sure, but at some point that potential well might go dry. This gives us an opportunity, we have a backup well. So was a lot of reasons for expanding, the well field to make sure that we position for the future, that the town of Cicero someday down the road did not run out of water.
Where are the current wells?
So the current wells, we have one that is right behind Betsy's Boutique. So that is where the water plant is. So there is a well that's inside that plant. And the other ones are east of town. So if you look out basically where the cell tower is, there's a well site there. And then if you go on out, you'll see where there's sort of a lean-to type building. And then we have a well site there as well. So.
And we do have about 50 EUs. The way we factor out is based on, say, equivalent unit for one residence.
Right.
And we have about 50 of those in reserve now that the council decided to save in case a business opportunity appeared. So those have been saved ever since we decided to stop residential growth until the water was resolved.
That was even a concern 20 years ago off Tolgate in that area. That some of it was grandfathered in, but other development beyond that was a concern 20 years ago. That was the last I've paid attention to it. even though
Sure.
I'm a neighbor.
But, the town will be well positioned for the future, and I think that was the ultimate goal, is what I've understood from what I've heard, so.
It gives a trump card being able to know that you've got enough there to.
Sure. Okay, anything else, Mr. Cole?
No, that's all I have.
Board member comments?
Do we have any kind of update on 236th Street?
So,
Go ahead, Dan.
So the only thing I can share is what I've seen that everybody else has seen, that the target date seems to be September 22nd.
Of what year?
Yeah.
So,
So I rode my bike down the path, and maybe got through it other ways, but I rode my bike and it looked like the top coat was on. It looked like, and maybe striping. I'm not a road expert, but
So,
I mean, it seems like it is really close.
If,
there is
if you want to get through, you can.
I rode my bike on the path.
Well, I'm telling you, my son drives to Sheridan.
Zigzag.
Yeah.
and
That's what I heard, that if you're careful, you can get through.
I didn't know if anybody here has tried to go to Elwood lately.
Yeah,
Yes.
37, yeah, same thing.
Yeah, I went through the country one time and came back down 37 and zigged at every crossroad. They've got it blocked because they're just repaving.
It's taken a month for them to do that, too, or more.
I don't know if anybody's taken Englewood, but that's a gorgeous road. I mean, so I think they've been working an awful lot on
Good.
Englewood more than they have on 236th Street.
What was
Yeah.
the date?
that is nice.
What was the date? September 22nd.
I would say they're close. based on my bicycle ride.
Weather's been pretty poor though, so.
Are they
Yeah,
gonna-
right.
Are they gonna do the curbing the whole way? I don't think I noticed, or I've heard that there's curbing done the whole way.
Like,
It's not curbing on part of it, kinda like, I call it curbing, but it's just like curves up.
I don't know that I know the answer to
Down
that.
towards 31, it had curbing, if I remember right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, but it didn't,
Oh, down at the roundabout area does, doesn't it?
Well, even east of there, for a little bit,
I think from Anthony, I saw a lot of curving.
yes,
I think so.
I didn't see any from Anthony
no, I didn't.
coming east.
Are we in contact with them, or do they have a representative that gives us updates, or we just taking a wild guess?
There was
So
a
there was-
date that was mentioned.
Yes.
Do we have a representative that we work with, or?
So we have quarterly meetings with the county, two of the town council
Okay.
people too. And they said, I think the last one they said in September.
Correct. But that was the latest piece of information that we've heard, we've seen posted numerous places. But I always use the caveat with that, we've seen that before, so
Yes.
don't quote me on that that's a definite date, but that was the latest that we've heard.
My bike ride would say it's getting very close.
Very nice.
And I will also say I followed a golf cart all the way down the path.
The 2 months ago, you couldn't ride a bike
No.
through that.
True.
That's a-
You
Well, I'm
could-
on a mountain bike, I could.
Well, you could have now.
If I were in shape.
And will it be, that's pretty much it, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Then when you go south on 31, you have to deal with the overpass
sorry
at
about that.
216.
They're gonna have to mill and resurface now, totally. They're gonna start resurfacing. It's been 5 years.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it? Alrighty, any other board member comments? Seeing none, our next planning commission meeting will be October the 8th. That will be here at Town Hall at 7:00 PM. And with that, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
Mr.
So
Chairman,
moved,
Dennis
Mr.
Trump,
President.
so moved.
Second.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shrimp. Mr. Hagan, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.